Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. It is Monday. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter weekend, given the circumstances like with the coronavirus. But I do want to wish everybody a happy Monday here in New York. It's a bit of a rainstorm. Let's catch up and see what's going on here in our world. According to the Johns Hopkins University, nearly 1.9 million cases have been confirmed of coronavirus. Over 117,000 people have died from the virus in the year 2020. Globally, the U.S. has 560,000 confirmed cases, 22,800 deaths so far. Friday's mark of more than 2,000 deaths was followed by 1,877 deaths from coronavirus on Saturday, and Sunday, 1,557. Well, that's good news, at least, because it looks like the numbers are going down. Governor Cuomo even said that, and I'm quoting him. He says he thinks that you can say the worst is over. He also did announce, though, that the daily death rate here in New York was 671. It was the lowest it's been in a week. Cuomo acknowledged the numbers suggest a plateauing of the cases, which I hope is the case, but he said whatever those numbers, it is a direct result of what we're doing by social distancing, by staying home, by closing our economy. We supposedly, if you listen to the experts, we saved millions and millions of lives by doing this. Cuomo also said, I'm not confident that the worst is over. The worst can be over, and it is over unless we do something reckless. Now, Trump's saying that he's going to reopen the country, and there seems to be some contradiction between whether Trump can reopen the country or it's up to the specific governors. In a tweet about reopening the country, Trump said today, it's the decision of the president, and for many good reasons. With that being said, the administration and I are working closely with governors, but a lot of people say that's not really the case. In USA Today, for example, they reported that federal law allows Washington to impose quarantines in some circumstances and limit travel between states, but the Trump administration has no power to invoke and enforce this. The Supreme Court has struck down attempts by the federal government in the past to intervene with states. For instance, in 1985, they invalidated a Food and Drug Administration rule for blood plasma donation centers. They said that the regulation of health and safety matters is primarily and historically a matter of local concern here in the United States. So when Trump says he's going to reopen the United States, it's really the governors of each particular state who will be making those decisions. I assume that they will be working in conjunction with Donald Trump. Everybody likes to take their own platitudes and say, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. Cuomo's having an argument with de Blasio right now in New York, who's in charge of schools. Trump is having an argument with the governors, who's in charge of reopening. The fact is, it's going to be up to each particular state governor when to reopen those particular states. But I am sure that they will be working in conjunction with Trump. Just everybody's wants to take the platitudes for it. In a weird thing last night, one of the only people that I have respect for right now in Washington is Dr. Anthony Fauci. And Donald Trump retweeted a conservative who called for firing Dr. Fauci last night. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't tell me Trump's going to fire this guy. Because what happened was on a Sunday morning news show, I didn't see it, but Fauci said that, and I'm quoting him, obviously you could logically say that if you had a process that was ongoing and you started mitigation earlier, you could have saved lives. Obviously, no one is going to deny that, but there was a lot of pushback about shutting things down back then. Basically, it kind of threw Donald Trump under the bus a little bit by saying, well, had Trump closed the economy down a little earlier, had he had the governors close it down a little earlier, then perhaps we would have even been doing better than we are now. So I guess Trump didn't like it. So kind of like, I think that tweet was like more of a shot across the bow than it was that he was going to fire him. So Trump came back today and said, no, I'm not going to fire him at all. So I'm happy for that because he seems to be the only voice of reason in Washington, D.C. right now. I think he's a really smart guy, and I think he knows what he's doing. It's my opinion. I don't know for a fact, but that's my opinion. I saw Boris Johnson. He left the hospital. He almost died, apparently. He was in the intensive care, but apparently he has now left the hospital. He's doing better. He's going to have to rest at home for several weeks now. Bernie Sanders endorsed Joe Biden today. He announced the endorsement during a virtual live stream. He said alongside Biden, so today I'm asking all Americans, I'm asking every Democrat, I'm asking every independent, I'm asking a lot of Republicans to come together in the campaign to support your candidacy, which I endorse. And the reason why he did that, I don't know if he loves Joe Biden as much as he really dislikes Donald Trump, like most of us. And Donald Trump, has seen some information that perhaps some of the people who were supporting Bernie Sanders because he was more revolutionary would, and Joe Biden is more status quo, would go over to Donald Trump, believing that Donald Trump is more of a revolutionary than Joe Biden. And the last thing the Democrats wanted was the Bernie Sanders people to go switch over to Donald Trump, and really to support Joe Biden, because the most important thing is get Trump out of office. It's raining here in New York. It's raining up in Massachusetts. There were 7 dead in Mississippi on Easter Sunday. Tornadoes hit the South. And there's going to be big storms all up and down the East Coast. So please, everybody, stay safe. That's my weather report for the day. The only good news that I see in any news in all of 2020, there is no good news in the news, except our environment is getting a lot better. The coronavirus outbreak has caused a great drop in the global carbon dioxide emissions that far larger than any prior crisis or war. There was a new study that acknowledged that the pandemic is decimating lives, livelihoods, and the normal functioning of society. But the one silver lining is that carbon emissions will be down globally this year from last year. One thing we've learned from all of this is that we can change our climate. We can change the air we breathe. Los Angeles, for example, they had their longest stretch of clean air since 1980. It's amazing what's going on with air and water. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.